millions of Biafrans and lovers of freedom all over the world. Welcome to Sunrise Daily News Analysis on Biafra Television. This program has been designed to educate and to enlighten you about the happenings in the contraption called Nigeria, and of course in Biafra land. We are here to expose all the evil going on in the contraption. We are here to expose all the lies. We are here to expose the crimes going on in this part of the world. We are the indigenous people of Biafra, led by Nnamdi Kanu and deputized by Mazuche Mefo. We are whiter than white and whiter than snow. The only mandate is the land of the rising sun, Biafra. So this morning we are reaching you from Biafra land. My name is Ngozi Chukwuka, and I have in the studio this me
Mazi Victor Onyido, Biafrans and all of us of freedom. I welcome you to this wonderful program, and I encourage you to share the program in all your shareable spaces and make sure the enemies and the well-wishers of Biafrans and even all the lovers of freedom are listening. And those of you in diaspora, call your people back home and encourage them, support them to listen to this program, because this is where they will get the real information. Once again, I say good morning to you, Mother.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, so Mazi Victor Onyido will be analyzing the news we have here this morning, in-depth analysis, and of course in 60 minutes the lines will be open for you to call in and make your own contribution. Let's also hear from you. You're going to speak basically or specifically on the topics we have here this morning. So while we wait, I want you to share this program. Very, very important. Share it on your timeline. If you're watching on Facebook, we are on almost all the social media platforms. We are on Facebook, we are on Periscope, we are on Twitter, we are on YouTube. So whichever platform you find yourself, wherever you're watching this program from, please ensure you share it everywhere. We are transmitting simultaneously on Radio Biafra. So please tune into Radio Biafra or call on your relatives, call on those who have no access to internet to join us on Radio Biafra London. And of course, they will hear from us, they will listen to this program. It's very, very important, really, really important. So please, as you do so, don't also forget that Sunrise Daily need your assistance. We need your support financially, materially. We have the need to get this place updated, to get some equipment, because the ones here are already outdated. So please reach out to us. So many have called and demanded for account number, and we've done that. We are yet to hear from them. Just few persons have complied. So please, if you're among those who have demanded for account number, please do so that we can get things done. Also, we need stable internet. So if you think you can do something about that, good. And of course, there are still a committee that's working towards getting a stable internet. So if you would like to join them and work together with them, that will be appreciated. So we oblige you to do something for Biafra to be restored, because we have sworn an oath to restore Biafra without in the process. Now this is one of the oaths we've sworn, to remain here, to keep preaching the gospel, to keep exposing the evil going on in this part of the world until Biafra is restored. And we are not going back on that. It is Biafra or Biafra. All right, so this morning the headlines we'll be discussing. The first one here. The current security arrangement for Southeast is unconstitutional, Aloy Ejimako. That's from his Facebook page. So the current security arrangement for Southeast is unconstitutional, Aloy Ejimako. Don't come abroad if you are owing salaries. Nnamdi Kanu warns Nigerian governors. That's from Sahara Reporters. Don't come abroad if you're owing salaries. Nnamdi Kanu warns Nigerian governors. We are ready for dialogue. Southeast governors tells IPOB. From Punch. IPOB Southeast governors, we don't need your apology. You will know how upset if we meet abroad. From Vanguard, at IPOB to Southeast governors, we don't need your apology. You will know how upset we are if we meet abroad. Vanguard. Xenophobia attacks, don't retaliate, leave it for government. Adeboye tells Nigerians. Iwanyawo, Attack won't end in South Africa. Tell Buhari to take a stand than speaking through his aide. Of course, he just reminded everyone that the man in Aso Rock has never made a statement based on what is going on in South Africa. He's been speaking through his aide. Okay, the next one. IPOB is registered in Germany. German police is aware. That's coming from Nigerian embassy to Germany. Say IPOB registered in Germany, and German police is also aware. Nigerian ambassador to Germany. And finally, headsmen, we need Ruga in every state. Miyetti Allah leader. We need Ruga in every state. Miyetti Allah leader. All right, so these are the headlines we'll be discussing this morning. And of course, we urge you to call us 60 minutes after now. The lines will be open definitely, and you will call. But please don't forget before you call on this platform, tune down the volume of your listening device. Turn it down, or you can even turn it off, so that after the call, after our conversation, you can go back to the program again, so that we can have an effective communication. Very, very important. Very important. Okay, so let's go ahead with what we have here. The security, sorry, that's coming from Aloy Ejumako, talking about the security architecture of Nigeria. The current security arrangement for Southeast is unconstitutional. The expanded security meeting on Southeast held recently with Southeast governors had an interesting pose of security chiefs in attendance, comprised of the following. These are the following security chiefs we have in Biafra land, and of course they were in attendance. Their names are Major General Abubakar Maikobo, GOC, 82 Division Nigerian Army; Air Vice Marshal Idi Amin, Air Officer Commanding; Yusuf Ishaku, Director DSS, Anambra; AJ Ibrahim, Director DSS, Abia State; H.E. Abdullah, Director DSS, Ebonyi; Bimbo Likinyo, Director DSS, Enugu; Abdullah Denja, Director DSS, Imo; Mustafa Daudura, CP, Anambra State; Ene Okon, CP, Abia State; Awoshola Awotunde, CP, Ebonyi State; Amadu Abdurrahman, CP, Enugu State; Rabiu Ladodo, CP, Imo State. So you will notice that there is no single Igbo or Southeast person at the helms of deciding matters of security, which happens to be, life and death, that concerns the people of Southeast. What do you have to say about this?
Okay, well, my sister, the fact still remains to be seen, in this very situation or this particular point in time. It is a very perilous time indeed. If you go towards the ending of that very article, you will understand that he stated it very clear that we are in a perilous situation where people don't have to play to the gallery, or where people don't have to use the life of their fellow human beings to toy, because this kind of a security arrangement, it goes a long way to tell you that we have been surrounded completely. There is no single Igbo man or any Biafran mentioned in that very, arrangement in the whole of Biafran land. It is the Goro eating Hausa Fulani, cabals, and all the rest of them. They are the ones, in charge of our security. How can your enemy, those who want you dead, be in charge of securing your life and property? In fact, it is very, 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 very quite unfortunate. It is quite debilitating. People should wake up and resist this very evil. And also, I want to state clearly here that it is better for somebody to play a fool, in order to fool others, than for you to be a fool just for you to fool others. That is the worst part of it, because the governors and the people we call senators representing, I don't even know what they are representing us over there. I don't know the kind of representation they are giving us over there, because they are there. They kept quiet. They kept mum while all this is going on, while all this arrangement is going on. They have not even try to come together to see how they can challenge this, or they can, you know, support those who are ready to challenge this. This is exactly what IPOB is fighting for. We are fighting not just because of you know, we want to, you know, remain safe or want to enjoy our environment, but because we want to secure a better future for our own people, for our own generation. We want to give them the life that they truly deserve. Is this the kind of life they deserve? Bringing Fulani herdsmen to come and lord over, or I mean, to come and be in charge of securing our life. The people that are that are killing us, bringing them to also to be the chief security in our life. It is quite laughable. That means if there should be a war, or if there should be any kind of uprising, then all these people now will now overrun our land and kill everyone if that be the case. So it is very, very, very sad indeed, and it is very, very, you know, I mean, it's a dear situation that, you know, everybody, all stakeholders must rise up and you know, look into it, you know, in a holistic manner, because we are talking about life here. Life is concerned. These are the people. Remember, most of the AK-47 that is being used by the Fulani herdsmen to kill and maim and wipe out villages is being supplied by these same people, and now they are still the ones in charge of securing. They are still the chief security in our different places in Biafran land. So it is very, very shameful, and it is very, very, you know, unacceptable. So people should resist it the best way they can.
Okay, so what's the best way you think they can, or they should be resisted?
Okay, the simple way to resist it is, I mean, like I always say, charity begins at home, is by people coming together to see one particular problem as the problem of everybody. Because if I see something as a problem and you don't see that thing as a problem, you know, that is another problem of its own. Because if you look at how divided we are, because of the fact that we have some foolish politicians among us, we have a lot of misleaders, you know, lying and deceiving the people. We have one-hand chiefs here and there that call themselves Igbo, and the rest of them dining and eating with the Fulani people that are killing us. You see, so our opinion is divided. So if the people can first of all come together, speak with one voice this time around, then that is when it is very, very easy for them to resist whatever they don't want. Just like what is going on in South Africa now. You see, the South Africans, even though what is going on there is uncalled for, it is very bad, it is I mean, condemnable, and I totally detest it. But then all of them are still speaking with one voice that foreigners should leave their land. That is how people that is how committed people can be in order to achieve what they want. What they want is, they don't even want to know the contribution of those foreigners in building their, you know, in making them become what they are today. What they care for is foreigners should leave, and they are doing it with one heart, with one mind. All the killings they are killing, everything they are doing. So the same thing should apply here. People should, you know, come together and see that Fulani herdsmen, they are our problem. It's not that maybe if we, the Indigenous People of Biafra, consider them a problem, then we have another, you know, important folks somewhere else, you know, considering them as Lord and Saviors. You know, it just could not work that way. So people should begin to reason from the direction of IPOB, because I know we are the ones setting the pace. We are the ones telling them this is the right thing to do, and we have been always right with what we are seeing, because we are a special breed for this generation. We have come to save our generation, and that is why we are here. Chukwu Kabiama sent us for a time like this, because he knows that the time like this will come when nobody will be, you know, courageous enough to speak. Because during the time of the old, you know, we used to have people who are courageous. A man can even stand out, sacrifice his life in order to speak out for the people, you know, speak out against the oppression, against the wickedness that is being brought upon mankind by mankind itself. You know, we have people that can speak, but this generation, I don't know if it is generation of cowards, youth who cannot even come out and speak and condemn evil. If you go to the comment section of all the mainstream media of the zoo, you will see that we have millions and millions of cowards. As in cowardice, they run into millions by defending what is not defensible, what is indefensible, defending Jubril, Aminu al-Sudani, defending the Photoshop that they are churning out, defending all the evil, you know, deception. Even our leader have even made it succinctly clear that if this man can surrender himself to, you know, to undergo a DNA test, and if the DNA test proves to be him, then he will collapse IPOB. That is a very big challenge, the greatest challenge I have ever seen thrown to the zoo government. That goes a long way to tell the youth that this very man is certain of what he is saying. He is very, very sure of what he is saying. Now let them come out in mass and demand for that man to go for a DNA test. They will not do it. So that is why it is very, very painful at this very particular point.
It's really, really pathetic that we have youths, especially who do not think, who do not really think about their future, who do not think about which way forward, yet they come out to defend the same government that have destroyed them, destroyed their destiny, killed a lot of people, and of course leaving them you know, hungry, whereby they go to other countries where they are also rejected. It's really, really pathetic. Let's look at the next one here. Don't come abroad if you are owing salaries. Nnamdi Kanu wants Nigerian governors. Leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has said that he would ensure that Nigerian governors owing workers' salaries are not welcomed abroad. He said IPOB would continue to hold Nigerian politicians accountable. Kanu, who has been on exile after jumping bail in Nigeria, made this statement in an interview with Begs TV in London, United Kingdom. He said, very soon, any governor who has not paid salaries will not come abroad anymore. If you are owing salaries, you are not owed, we are not allowed to go abroad anymore. Your bank teachers' salaries, you bank teachers' salaries, you bank salaries of pensioners, you cannot come abroad anymore. This is just the beginning. We will not attack them. We will just ask them questions. It is called picketing. It's allowed within the ambit of democratic rules. If we see you, we will ask you what you've been doing with teacher salaries, nurses salaries, and why you've not been paying them. It doesn't matter the state you come from. Once we catch you, you must explain why you've not paid salaries for months. Don't you think Nnamdi Kanu is going too far, trying to involve the whole Nigerian governors? I thought it was in Biafra land.
Okay, but before I even go into that, there was one statement that really could not go down well with me.
I will come to that. He jumped
issue
bail
of
and
jumping bail.
I know. We'll
okay, but if you want me to go to this one, you know, directly, okay, there's no problem. I don't think he's going too far. Look, what we are fighting for is, like I keep saying, it is not for our own personal frivolities. It's not for our selfish interest. It's not for our own benefit alone. We are fighting for the benefit of all mankind. If people could understand what we are doing, then they should be a part of what we are doing. We are trying to set the pace, how civilized, society is supposed to be. How can people be so wicked? I mean, the Nigerians, I'm pointing out, the youth of Nigerians, they are so wicked, they are so evil. Their heart is darkened. They have a dark soul. They are irredeemable slaves because Nnamdi Kanu is trying to fight for their rights. A lot of them are being owed for years. So I'm not talking about months. I know people who are owed in Kogi for years. You know, even during the time these idiots entered, and a lot of them are being owed. Even in the whole of Biafran land, they are not exempted. You know, Rochas Okorausa is owing a lot of people before he got out of power. A lot of people are being owed, or there is no state that is even free from that debt. What are they doing with billions of naira that belongs to people? There are some people who have not received pension and they died after serving the zoo called Nigeria. And a lot of things, evil is going on. So for Nnamdi Kanu to fight, to extend the handshake of friendship to other people as well who are not, you know, predominantly Biafrans, it's a welcome development. It goes a long way to tell you that we have a clean heart towards everyone. We don't just hate people because we are not of the same tribe or we are not from the same geographical space, but we are fighting for everybody to make sure that people are free. People get what they deserve. If you work, you deserve to be paid. If you suffered, you deserve to get some compensation or some appreciation for what you labored for. But for people to go hungry, there are people who cannot even pay their children's school fees anymore. There are some people who cannot even afford to pay their house rent anymore because they are being owed, and yet they call themselves government workers. So these are the kind of things Nnamdi Kanu is addressing here. So I don't think he's going too far, because that is injustice anywhere should be considered injustice everywhere, because he's kind of setting the pace that he can even fight for those who hated him, even though he is still doing that, and a lot of people are still attacking him, saying no man of nonsense against him. A lot of Nigerians will not even appreciate it, even though he's doing it for their own favor. He's not doing it for his own self. And I know some people will try to twist that around and say, yeah, he has left the Biafran struggle to go and start fighting for people who don't deserve it. But sometimes, you know, this life, some people are naturally stupid, and there's nothing you can do to help their stupidity. So what you can do as a human being is to try to save those you can save, and those who are destined to be, to be destroyed, you can allow them to do whatever they want or to get destroyed. Save those you can save and leave those you cannot save. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, what do you think? Because if you're trying to stop governors from Kogi State, from Kanu State, and from other states, I think their people should also be aware. Don't you think their people, Nigerians or people from the Middle Belt or from the North, should be involved in questioning their governors? So are there measures put in place, or only IPOB will take it up and handle the cases?
Well, IPOB is a kind of a prolific organization. They don't basically make plans on how to do things at times. What they do is to improvise on anything that comes. Like this issue of questioning or teaching Ekweremadu a lesson in Germany was never part of our plan in the first place, but it's something that came at a particular point in time, and we embrace it, and we see that it's working now. You see that the whole atmosphere is changing. So that is IPOB for you. IPOB is not an organization you can predict what they are likely to do tomorrow. They will likely do something you will not even understand. So that is how they are designed. They are designed for for a specific purpose. What they are fighting for is the freedom of mankind. I keep saying it over and over again. So those people you are talking about, the problem is for them to also accept, accept their mistake, because they have done mistake in the past by fighting and condemning IPOB, and they don't expect IPOB going to them to tell them that we are just doing it generally for us, because if we don't do it, it will still affect us in a way. But if we go ahead and do it, we know that we are liberating them, but we are also liberating ourselves, because it will set example for the rest of the world to see that truly we are determined and truly we run the space of this very earth. Because if we can stop a whole impostor or somebody they choose to be their president, because our leader said that even if in a normal climate, in a civilized society where things are normal, even if you present a dog, a Dundee or a he-goat, that this is your president, that they will accept, they will issue him a diplomatic certificate. So there's no problem with that. So but now for us to also stop whoever they sent as their president from attending meetings overseas, it goes a long way to tell you that IPOB is strong, and if you underestimate them, you do that at your own peril. So those people now, whether they are going to join, because in this life, some people learn faster, some people learn slower. Something that will take some kind of people 1 minute or 1 second or 1 hour to learn. Some people, it might take them years for them to understand. So we have been setting the pace for others to follow in this very struggle. We have been teaching people how to liberate themselves from shackles of slavery, from mental deception, from magic spell of this politician, because a lot of them are using magic spell to hold their people, to confuse their brain, to use them to play chinko. But we are now showing them this is how to liberate yourself from this very few individual that is putting you in a cage, boxing you in one corner, making you feel that the type of a useless life you are living now is the life that you deserve. The life of staying from January to December with no electricity, no water, no hospital, and they fly abroad to go and get medical treatment. Those are the anomalies we are trying to correct, so that people can begin to reason like human being. Know that it is your right to, if this leader can come, ordinarily to come and ask you to vote for them, you also have the right to ask them questions, to say for them to render accountability for what they have done since they entered that very office that that they got through the power of your vote. So it is the right of the people to do so. But we can't just go to them to start telling them. Let them watch and learn if they really ever going to.
It's not necessary IPOB going to call them, or all of you should come out, let's go and okay, now I get it.
Let them watch and learn.
All right, so now while I was reading this news on from the page, it's from Sahara Reporters. I was reading comment as well. So I was reading where some youths were like, you ran away to London. If you're a man enough, come back here, come down here, let's do it together. If you're man enough, what are you doing in London? You went into exile. So I wanted to, correct that impression. Or how do you think, or does it mean it doesn't really matter to make these people understand Nnamdi Kanu never ran into exile? They actually came to kill him, and he never jumped bail. I'm surprised how Reporters is reporting this. He said he jumped bail.
You know, they are beginning to learn their lessons gradually, but there are still those who will not learn. You know, like those youth you are talking about. Those are the foolish youth I'm talking about. Those are the mentally retarded youth I'm talking about. Their brain has, you know, their brain is no longer functioning. That is the typical brain of a black man. Their soul is darkened. They can't see voice of reasoning with you. Nnamdi Kanu is due to appear in a court on is it on the either on 17th or 18th of that same month, September.
Yeah.
And they came on 14th to come and kill him. And somehow, by the grace of Chukwuka, he was kind of evacuated, and he couldn't fall in that very attack. Now, all these wicked people never even questioned the army for coming in a civilian area to kill people. They never even bothered to ask about that. They never even bothered to question the army for them to even pay the retributive consequences of their action. Now, the only thing you are concerned is that Nnamdi Kanu run away. He jumped bail. That is the kind of a wickedness that, you know, I detest so much in the heart of a black man, because this kind of people making this type of arguments, their soul is darkened. They have Boko Haram in that very place. Most of them cannot even face that Boko Haram. Most of them that claim one Nigeria, I have challenged them severally that there are a lot of free houses. If you go to, you know, to Balga town, you know, the same place that is close to where they kidnapped those Chibok girls, there are upstairs 5-story building, 20-story building is in that very town with no human being occupying it. Let those people go there and occupy that house. Then that is when I will know that they are truly one Nigerianist. That is when I will know that they are truly patriotic about the one Nigeria they are fighting for. But they are cowards, they can't do that. Then why are they running away from that very place? Because they know they are eventually going to die. So now, for them to come and start challenging Nnamdi Kanu, all the while he was here, what could they do? They challenged him before for him to come back. I think is it in 2014, and he came back severally even before he was arrested, and he did a lot of things. So to tell them that he's not a coward. So during those times that he was here, what could they do? So now those are the people that are so irredeemable. Their soul is darkened. You cannot redeem them. Those are the people that will die in the hand of Boko Haram, and the Fulani herdsmen will visit them and kill them eventually one day, because they seize lies and they embrace it and they see the truth, they abhor it. What Nnamdi Kanu is fighting for is for the freedom of everyone, for the freedom of mankind. He himself has the opportunity to go and enjoy his life, to make. Even when I met him in the Kuje prison, he told me how much these people promise him. It's more than enough for him to be settled for a lifetime. And he said, you know, one question he asked that is still shaking me up to this, say, what am I going to do with all this money? This is the kind of question he was asking. I say, what kind of a man is this? And he rejected all of that. He put his life in danger for all these people that is talking all this nonsense. Now, what could they do? Showore, who is supposed to be another, a kind of a freedom fighter that is fighting for their own freedom, fighting for the teacher's salary that has not been paid, and a lot of things. That man is silent under DSS dungeon. None of them is saying anything. All of them have gone deaf and dumb. They run away because they shoot ordinary knockouts and tear gas. But if it is to talk against Nnamdi Kanu, to talk against IPOB, who have done marvelously well, who have done a lot of things they could not even dream or imagine to do. We took bullets, we took tear gas severally, so uncountable. So many times we have, you know, taken it, and we are very strong, agitating, teaching them this is how to do it. And at the end of the day, instead of them to appreciate what we have done, because of the agitation of IPOB, a lot of things have changed. You have changed the shape of Africa, not just the zoo called Nigeria. We have changed the way people reason. If you go now, people are beginning to reason like human beings and say, why is Africa in a mess? A lot of people have a clean idea how to clean Africa and make Africa to be the giant that it is in the face of the whole earth. A lot of people have that idea. Costly IPOB. But why is it that these foolish ones have remained foolish? They don't want to be liberated. You know, they say in one of the adages they use in Nigeria is that the rich keep getting richer while the poor keep getting poorer. But also I'm looking at it that even though the rich are getting richer, but the poor are getting more stupid every day. The rich they are wise now, because if they can fool millions of people, if they can fool 200 or 300 million people that man in Asurok is Buhari, or they can fool people with a lot of evil that is going on here, then their foolishness is beyond redemption. It is only IPOB that will still save them at the end of the day, even though they don't deserve it, but we are still going to save them at the end of the day if they can be saved. because you can only save somebody you know, that is in danger, but you cannot save somebody from himself. Somebody that has chosen the way of no return, the way of danger, the way of destruction. There's nothing you can do about that. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Let's look at the next one here. We are ready for dialogue, Southeast governors say to IPOB. We are ready for dialogue. Southeast governors have said they are ready to engage in dialogue with the indigenous people of Biafra to resolve their differences. IPOB had threatened to attack Southeast governors and other Igbo leaders outside the country after beating former Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu in Germany for allegedly working against their interests. The chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum, Chief David Umahi, told our correspondent on Thursday that they never proscribed IPOB, but rather they banned their activities in the region. The Ebonyi State governor, who spoke through his chief press secretary, Emauzo, said, asked IPOB to convene a meeting and invite the governors for discussions. He said, IPOB are our children, they are our brothers and sisters, they fight for the fight on the pages. They fight for their fight on the pages of newspapers and social media. And it does not help. The best thing is for all of us to sit down and talk. The governors are ready to speak with them. They should have a way of coming home or convene a meeting, and the governors will attend anywhere they want. Let us sit down and discuss it. And they should know that the governors did not proscribe them. They lack constitutional powers to proscribe them. They only banned their activities in the region where they have jurisdiction. IPOB on Wednesday, through Alo Ejimako, Council for Nnamdi Kanu IPOB, wrote to the governors giving conditions for peace to reign. The outlawed group, in the letter titled Operation Python Dance, an open letter to Southeast governors, demanded immediate and unconditional deproscription of IPOB and delisting it as a terrorist organization. A Truth and Reconciliation Commission on the Python Dance leader military operations of September 2017. The separatist group added a public apology for the extrajudicial killing of IPOB members and desecration of the palace of an Igbo traditional ruler at Afaruku, Abia State. A genuine dialogue with IPOB on its referendum demand for the restoration of Biafra and discontinuance of the ongoing prosecution of IPOB members and forbearance of any future arrests and prosecution. This is still coming 24 hours, barely 48 hours after David Umahi said he is not going to beg IPOB.
Or to say something they will like.
Okay, now. So what's actually, I think I sense confusion in the air. This minute saying something, to please the federal government. The other minute coming to, fall back to IPOB. And what's actually going on?
The chicken has finally come home to roost. Like I will always say. I don't, I kind of have a soft spot for all these people that call themselves men of God and all of that. But this very man called Pastor Joshua Ijinla, I respect him because his prophecy have finally come to pass. He said that there will be a time when these people will call for a dialogue, and the dialogue will no longer be acceptable. He was saying it boldly, telling the Zoo federal government and even the governors and the rest of them that claims to be in power that they should dialogue now. They should dialogue with these people. Shooting them, killing them, and arresting cannot stop the agitation. This is the time for a dialogue, and they thought it was just a mere a mere emphasis. Now look at it is playing out now. And also it's probably the reason why they are coming out now to start demanding for a dialogue is because they heard that our leader has been invited to the European Parliament to go and address them, and he know that that is the place where he will press the final button that will destroy whatever again they are making out of the life of ordinary people. So for them now
they weren't aware before he came out from Asorok and made the statement that they cannot beg IPOB for any reason.
Yes, he's never aware of that.
A day later, the news of the...
he came out that very day, then probably in the evening time or the next day, he just got the news that, look, this man has been invited to the almighty European Parliament. All of them begin to run helter-skelter. This is the thing, the same people we begged. We begged them, we told them, we met them telling them they should have a kind of a one-on-one discussion with us, a kind heart-to-heart discussion. And at the end of the day, they rejected us, they called us miscreant, they proscribed us, they banned our activity. Okay, if he's trying to be political correct or to kind of, address those who don't understand English, when you ban the activities of some group of people, have you not proscribed them? Because he said they didn't proscribe IPOB, but they ban our activities. The banning and proscribing, which one is more greater than the other? So who are they fooling and who are they deceiving? Recently, the same David Umahi banned completely the activities of IPOB, and he arrested a lot of our members over there. He also arrested one
sealed a church.
Yeah, he sealed the church because of IPOB.
The member is an IPOB.
The pastor or the bishop rather is an IPOB member. He did a lot of. Or you think that we are mumu, we don't understand or we cannot remember again. You know, one thing about liars and one thing about fools is that they have short memories. They will say one thing today, and tomorrow if you still ask them that same thing they said, they will tell you they didn't say such a thing. They will deny it. That is one thing about them. They have short memories. Now, for them to come and start making this kind of statement that they want to dialogue with IPOB, I will tell them from my own perspective and from IPOB perspective that it is a little too late. What are we going to dialogue? If we are going to sit with them on a table, what are we going to dialogue? Are they going to bring back the 28 men that fell in Afaruku Ibeku in the compound of our leader, or are they going to bring back the hundreds of those who are soaked in the mud water, and after soaking them in that mud water they killed majority of them? Are they going to bring, because a lot of families are still grieving. I know so many families in Biafra land that is still grieving over the death of all these young men and women they killed for nothing. And the governors never did anything, no compensation whatsoever, no remorse. No remorse for what they have done.
They didn't feel the pain.
Exactly, they didn't feel the pain because their children were all abroad. Now they can no longer go abroad because that is the reason why. I thought he said after he came out from meeting with Jubilee, he said that what was that statement again, that he cannot even beg IPOB that he is free to travel.
Whenever he wants to travel, he will
whenever he wants to travel, he will notify. So we are waiting for him to notify
he said,
us.
I will even tell them I'm coming. I'm not afraid.
Exactly. So we are waiting for him to tell us where next he is going instead of him to tell us he wants to dialogue. So let them just respect themselves, because that dialogue is a little too late, because I personally am not ready to dialogue with murderers, those who kill their own people, those who are,
Okay, but sorry. Based on the letter, the open letter that was written to them, there was a room for them to come to a roundtable discussion.
Yes, there was a room for them to come to a roundtable discussion based on a condition. It was conditional. It wasn't just an open letter. They gave them the condition to the proscribed IPOB, even if they want to dialogue with us.
Are you saying before the meeting?
They have to do the right thing. Some time ago we gave them a condition. I think that paper is still with us. Maybe sometime we'll treat it. We gave them condition for us to even begin to talk with them, both the Ohanese and the rest of them. We gave them an ample opportunity. You remember when our deputy leader made an announcement that there should be a ceasefire on all this. Let us see if we can broker a kind of an agreement with them, so that we can see how they will stay clear from our activities and we will do what we are doing, because they are the ones spoiling everything for us. We are trying to build Biafra land. We are trying to restore Biafra, and they are destroying everything we can. Remember when Nnamdi said that he will do everything in his own power to make sure he sabotage Biafra restoration. Remember, all those things are well documented. So now we gave them room, and most of the condition is to the proscribed IPOB, render public apology, and do the necessary things that they are supposed to do, like paying some kind of damages to those people who lost their families and other things that they are. And in a normal society, that is what they are supposed to do. They are supposed to pay, and I'm sure they are still going to pay by tomorrow, whether they like it or not, because those people that died are not just chicken that you kill anyhow and nothing happened. They must pay the distributive consequences, and those things are little. What does it take to make the people happy? I mean, the governed. What does it take? Just little things for you to do to put smile on the faces of the people. How can you be happy? You call yourself a governor, a senator, this and that. You only manage to tie the road that leads to your father's compound, and anytime you go home, you own your mechanical generator that is being supplied by Alhaji Usman Azman, that owns a private airlifting company in Kanu State, and the rest of them, the Kanu family and Dangote family. Look at Dangote.
the another criminal we have here, he's the one destroying the market value for our people, you know. But let me not even go into all of that. Now all these people are very subservient to these people. Instead of them to fight for the right of their own people, to make the people happy, they don't care. What they care is to live a comfortable life. They live in, you know, in palaces and in a glassy houses, and they enjoy themselves. They eat whatever they want to eat. But there are a lot of people sleeping hungry. There are a lot of people who are naked on the street. There are a lot of people who can't even afford to buy a paracetamol for the headache that is disturbing them, or for the migraine they are suffering from. Now you are comfortable doing all of that. The same people are now fighting to restore dignity to mankind. All you could do is to kill them, is to bring Operation Python dance. We still have documents which will be not used to invite the Operation Python dancers in case they come out to deny it, and Okezie took over. We have all those evidences. So for them to come out now to start denying, to say one thing or the other from their mouth, is just like a kind of they are rigmaroling here, and they don't even know. We told them
they are confused.
They are confused. We told them that a time will come, there will be no hiding place. But Mali said that there are no hiding place for the wicked. In the face of this, they thought that maybe they have diplomatic visa, they can fly to America, they can fly everywhere. But thank God for IPOB, we are everywhere. We are not MTN, but we are IPOB. We are everywhere. Anywhere you run to, if you run under the water, we will chase you there. We will get you anywhere you are. If you run inside the hole, we will dig the hole. We will bring you out, and we will make sure you pay the retributive consequences for your sins. So the time of dialogue is over, because you have not even met the condition. And that dialogue is hypocrisy. And I want to also warn IPOB, those who are intending to start paying a listening ear, that it is a trap.
Anyway, let's not go there. Okay. Let's read from IPOB response.
Okay.
You know, so we don't speak on individual ground. Let's hear what IPOB have to say.
Okay.
Okay. So according to IPOB, we don't need your apology. You will know how upset we are if we meet abroad. Act with the response of the Southeast governors to its demand. The proscribed Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, on Saturday said they were no longer interested in any apology from the governors, noting that they, the Southeast governors, would know how upset they are if they see them abroad. The group made the disclosure in a statement sent to Nation by its media and publicity secretary, Ima Powerful. Recall that IPOB had in a letter titled Operation Python Dance, an open letter to Southeast governors, asked the Southeast governors to deproscribe IPOB and render sincere public apology. The group also asked them to write the National Assembly, informing it that it is now their reconsidered position that the president had violated the Constitution by launching combat military operations in their state and against the people without first declaring a state of emergency, as required by Section 305 of the Constitution. Reacting, the chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum, David Umahi, opined that governors in the zone have no apology to render to IPOB. He said that the group has no right to place a travel ban on Southeast governors and other top politicians from the zone. However, the group in a repost frowned at the governor's response, noting that it has lost interest in the apology. The statement reads thus: following the recent denial and subsequent refusal of Southeast governors to apologize or do the needful towards IPOB against a background of their incessant attacks, abduction, arrest, killing, and proscription of unarmed peaceful Biafrans before, during, and after Operation Python Dance 2 in 2017, we, the global family of the Indigenous People of Biafra, categorically state that we are not interested in any apology coming from those who have continued to shamelessly preside over the Fulanization of their ancestral lands. Unfortunately, most people are yet to understand the danger these people portend for our existence as a race. We remain conscious of the complicity and duplicity of Southeast governors in the whole Operation Python Dance debacle, and we hold them accountable at the right time. We are aware of their secret dealings with the government of Nigeria to enslave our people, a task we assure them can never be accomplished as long as IPOB exists. We are waiting for them to set foot abroad or appear in public anywhere outside Nigeria. Then they will know how upset we are. Okay, so you are actually speaking in the right direction. This is the response of IPOB no apology.
Of course, I'm in the spirit then. Yes, my sister, see, the truth of the matter is that you put a bullet in my body, and at the end of the day, you are coming to the hospital to come and tell me sorry. Does that make any meaning to me? No, it wouldn't, because you could have avoided pulling the trigger in the first place. These people, they have every chance, they have all the ample opportunity to fix things when things have not gotten this bad, when people have not started losing their life. They have right. Look at what the the northern governors did. Can't they even borrow a leaf from what they are doing? The northern governors, they turn a blind eye to what Boko Haram, to the activities of Boko Haram. They are busy enjoying their loot. Nobody is disturbing them. Boko Haram is still also doing their own, carrying out their own activities. Same thing with the Fulani herdsmen. No governor in the north is disturbing them. No governor in the north is proscribing them or banning their activities. They are free to do anything. They are free to kill. They are free to rape. Of course, they know if you kill, you get about 72 virgins and all of that. So they believe in that kind of ideology. Then what is wrong with our stupid governors in the south is that they cannot borrow a leaf from that. Allow IPOB do their thing. We are not begging them to come and support Biafra or to come and join our agitation. Of course, they are in their own kingdom. They are in their own little pond. They are the big fish. They are getting a lot, you know, at the end of the day. Then why don't you turn a blind eye and pretend as if you don't know what these people are doing? After all, Boko Haram is there. The northern governor pretend as if they don't know what Boko Haram is doing over there, and nobody have questioned them for that. Now, why is it that only in Biafran land these people try to prove that they are stubborn or they are more political correct than any other person? The other day you are saying that you are not going to apologize to IPOB. Who are those miscreants? They cannot even order us. And here you are today again, begging the same people you don't want to apologize to come and have a dialogue with. Does that make any meaning? So it is only a foolish person that will even pay a listening ear to all of that. The time for dialogue is practically over. That is the truth of the matter. The stage we are in now is the stage of Koboko. Everybody, all of you must collect your own Koboko. On your black or the receipt. Or we are the only this thing. Yes, Ike Ekweremadu collected the first share. I believe that the Koboko is enough to go around. So all these people that are afraid of Koboko, so you are afraid. That's the but when they are killing your people, the people you called your children, because I had them mention they are our children. Yeah. Is that not correct?
Yeah.
I had them mention that. So you allow foreigners, Fulani herdsmen that you called foreigners and all of that coming to our land to kill us in soldiers uniform and in police uniform. You are laughing, you are eating, you are whining. You go to State House in Asorok Villa, because that is the place they used to have dinner every weekend. I'm sure you know that. They prepare a sumptuous meal, they eat, they drink over the blood of their own people. You eat dinner and they are killing your children. You are happy. Now, you want dialogue. People should just step anywhere so that we will know. This is the time for questioning. All of you must collect your own Koboko. This time around, there is no dialogue. Absolutely no. And we don't even know what, because what I'm trying to see in this very scenario is that these people, they have a plan. The Jubri government have sent them. See, go and pretend that you want to have a dialogue with them, get into them and get them arrested or even poison them. They are planning to kill us. So anybody that is going at his or her own risk. So if you are out there, you are going to stand, maybe you are a fake person, you want to go and say you are an IPOB member, you want to go and dialogue. They will poison you there, they will just kill you for nothing. It is a setup. Once you go there, they will get you arrested and you get incarcerated. These people, they are bad people, they are not good. So nobody should go close to them. They are planning to, you know.
Of course, when you talk about nobody should go close to them, it sounds as if IPOB is about children. So, you know, we are not kids. So
no, I know we are not kids, but we still have some people who the other time that
it is still their own people. It is still their own people. They will pick.
Okay.
They can never. There is no IPOB person that will stand up ever.
They don't even believe those people are their own people. People they don't care for. They don't give them good road. They don't give them water. They don't give them anything. This
How sure are you the people we are not paid to come and sit down and said, okay, you know what, you are going to make a statement that you are an IPOB member? Because it has happened. At a point, I think I remember at a point they had to bring a fake leader. They said IPOB now have a new leader. Have a new leader.
So
do you call such a person an IPOB member?
No, I'm just saying on behalf of that person. I'm not trying to say that IPOB members are going. Get me correctly. Okay, so I say that person, whoever it is, that wants to go.
So
whatever they see,
there and represent
whatever they see, they should take it.
All right, so let's look at the next one here. IPOB registered in Germany. German police are aware. Coming from Nigerian ambassador to Germany. And of course, this is on Sahara Reporters. What I do know is that German authorities are aware of IPOB. Okay, the Nigerian ambassador to Germany, Yusuf Tugar, says the Nigerian government is hoping that the German police will prosecute the attackers of Ike Ekweremadu. Tugar said this in an interview conducted by Rona Meyer, a Nigerian journalist living in Germany. In an excerpt of the interview published on Premium Times, the ambassador said, "I am waiting to see what is going to happen. For us, there is a litmus test. I cannot sit here and vouch for the German police. I am still trying to understand how they work. This is the first time we are having this experience. What I do know is that the German authorities are aware of IPOB, which is a proscribed terrorist organization in Nigeria. They are aware that IPOB are registered here as an entity, and therefore it is up to them to decide whether they should take action on such an entity that has registered here and begins to attack Nigerians on German soil. So we wait to see." Members of the Indigenous People of Biafra had attacked Ike Ekweremadu when he visited Germany to attend a program organized by the Igbo community in the country. The ambassador said the attack was not a protest, but an attempt to cause bodily harm to a Nigerian official. "There is no political protest that will push the supposed protesters into physically touching and assaulting another human being. Anywhere that happens in the world, it is a crime, and some people need to be brought to book." So quite honestly, I fail to understand how the issue of peaceful protest comes into this. If they were on peaceful protest, they would have come to my office with placards and said what they wanted and left. And the police are there. But you cross that line in any country and place your hand on an individual trying to cause harm. What I do know is that in some countries, first and foremost, they would be arrested and they have the right to bail. But when the police are there and witness something like that, one would expect arrest will be made and thereafter bail can be arranged and the investigation goes on. And if there is the need to prosecute, then they get prosecuted, he said. Okay, you know, an ambassador to a particular country telling you he doesn't really know how that country operates. What does he speak of? I think even all of them are now becoming the you know, leaders of I don't know.
Exactly.
Remember, sometime last year, everything that has to do with Jubril, I don't know.
I don't know.
You send the IG of police to Benue State. He said, I don't even know he didn't go. You know, now this one, an ambassador is saying, I don't know how Germany operates.
It goes a long way to tell you that they all are completely out of touch with reality. You know, it's a kind of a foreign thing to them to see we are people we are, you know, agitating peacefully, demanding for what is legitimately theirs, and at the end of the day, police did not come and start shooting, killing them, because it is a norm here in the zoo called Nigeria, where if you speak the truth, you die. They shoot you, they kill you, they get you arrested. What they want is for you to keep quiet. Two-Face DB a plan to start a revolution, and DSS threatened him with hell and brimstone. He went silent. Charlie Boy also started his own their Mumu don't do.
He actually tried.
He tried,
that
but
blood of Anibo is there.
Yes, that is to show you that he's a Biafran, and at the end of the day, he was a kind of silenced and boxed in a corner, and now here is Showore, and the rest of them, the list continue to go. Because here is not, I mean...
I beg to disagree that Charlie Boy and Showore's own is the same. I must tell you, Charlie Boy got to an extent. He tried.
I did not say he did not.
And even till tomorrow, he's still there. Even till tomorrow,
I didn't say he didn't try.
No, protest.
I'm just trying to give you example of how that is peaceful agitation was confronted. Okay. I'm not trying to say that he didn't try or whether he tried or not. What I'm trying to say is that any form of peaceful agitation by anyone, as long as it's not sponsored by the federal government of the zoo. Remember, there was a time they printed banners saying Igbo youth for Buhari. Exactly. And at the end of the day, after our investigation, we discovered those youth are from Kaduna, Plateau, and other places. So now, any protest that is not being sponsored by the zoo federal government, they will do everything they can in order to make sure they shoot the agitators or they fire tear gas on them. Look at what is happening to Shiite members and the rest of them that try to, you know, reject this evil system. So that goes a long way to tell you that this is the kind of this is how their brain was designed. Imagine somebody who claimed to be an ambassador to Germany. He's not even aware of how German, German system of government operates. You know, all those places, European governments or in all the European countries, they have a way. They are civilized people. Everybody have a right. There even a video I saw yesterday of Boris Johnson, the newly elected British Prime Minister.
Yeah.
He was being questioned by an individual. There are no men on suit. There are no mopo. There are no DSS. There are no type of security. Just on the street. A street man, an ordinary man, was even questioning him. You are this, you are that, you are pretending to be doing this. And he accused him of so many things. And the man he even lost word, you know, to respond to that very man. And the man was very serious, questioning him. These are the kind of, and this is a newly elected British Prime Minister, you know, to start with. Somebody who is even far more better than all the things we have here in Africa. So that goes a long way to tell you that Africa is still very backward, the way people reason. So somebody that calls himself an educated man, an ambassador who is representing a country, doesn't even know how that country where he resides operates. Oh, it's very, very laughable and it's very, very pitiable. So what he's expecting is that the German police, they will just come and start. Immediately they call them, oh yeah, come, police, come. And when they come, immediately they begin to start shooting the IPOB members or probably arresting them. So that is why they are surprised. They don't know that things have changed. And that goes a long way to tell you that it will not stop. This very revolution or this very state that IPOB have taken will continue to go. And I think what the German police gave in response have already cleared their doubt if German recognize us or not, because they proscribed us as a terrorist organization.
We must have gone deeply to find out that, yeah, we are being recognized. And not just because we are ignored. You must have made investigations.
Exactly. So they have gone deep in thought. You know, they have a penchant. I mean, they have a massive reputation for bribery. Yeah. So they thought that maybe if they bribe this one, they will bribe the German government to start, you know, arresting IPOB, but they've gone the same.
And I think this should also be one of the reasons the governors are now calling for dialogue. They were never aware. Yeah, that's what they said.
They are never aware that German government recognizes IPOB.
And now they are scared. Who knows about American government?
Yes.
Who knows about
exactly. If German government, which is one of the key states in the European Union, can, you know, recognize us in such a way, that means even the Spanish government and the rest of other European countries recognize us, and you know,
so it's really risky going out
there, and that is exactly where they have most of their kind of
thinking, because the federal government, according to them, have written to those countries to protect their politicians. But now hearing from Germany,
and the German police itself, they know that.
Yeah, they are aware. So I think to them, well,
they are losing the battle.
We are actually winning. Yeah, we are winning. Let's look at the next one. Iwanyanwo attack won't end in South Africa. Chief Emmanuel Iwanyanwo has advised Nigerians in South Africa to come back home because the present xenophobic attack on them by the country's nationals will not end. He said that South Africans would continue to be envious of Nigerians and attack them as long as they lived in that country and made progress. He, however, blamed the South African government, which, according to him, indirectly encouraged the attacks, just as he urged President Muhammadu Buhari to make a comprehensive statement on the matter rather than allowing his aides speak on the issue. Why do you think the man in Asorok, after claiming that he spoke with President Cyril Ramaphosa in Japan, came back here, and then the xenophobia continued, and he had never made a single statement? Just his aides have been speaking. Does it mean he's not yet back from Japan, or he returned through Photoshop, or maybe he doesn't want Cyril Ramaphosa to expose him that they never had any meeting?
Okay, let me even start by kind of giving a local parable. You know, our people used to say, in a case like this, what they will say is that also Jonya, Onya Jido also. You understand? So this, at a particular point in time like this, you know, most of all these governments of the world, they know the truth that that very idiot over there is not Buhari, because they know that Buhari is dead. Okay. And they have sent their condolences through the African Union. Everyone is aware of that. And they have even observed 1 minute silence for the late Buhari. And now this other Buhari that they are parading everywhere, that is speaking with this person, you speak with Donald Trump, you speak, very soon they will speak with, I don't know who else, maybe Russia president, they will speak to him through Photoshop. Now, after speaking with Photoshop, they never envisage, I mean the handlers, the Femi Adesina, you know, and all the other Jubril handlers, they never envisaged that, because there are other countries they could have choose, you know, to use. They could have used, what is it called, the Liberian president, George Weah, and the rest of other places where there are no xenophobia, but they never envisage that another xenophobia will just come. So they just see, maybe they should just use this Cyril Ramaphosa to Photoshop and say they met in Japan, so that, you know, they will confuse their gullible ones.
Exactly.
Now xenophobia is happening now. This is the time for him to even speak. I mean, for him to do the real talking that everybody is expecting now. He's no longer speaking. He's deaf and dumb. You know, maybe the cord that connected to his, his vocal cord must have been severed by the operation he went, I think, according to Lai Mohammed. So that goes a long way to tell you that Nigerians, if they are ever really going to be wise, this is the time for them to be wise, because apart from this time, I don't think there's any other time the opportunity calls for them to be wise enough, you know, to understand the game that these people are playing with their life and with their brain, you know. So it is very, very important for people to understand and see the truth for what it is now. They know that the aides of Buhari are not even qualified to speak to Ramaphosa, because if they do that, maybe the man will tell them people should stop that nonsense. You know, maybe the revelation might likely start from there. They are afraid of many things. That is why they are being careful in selecting their words and selecting whatever they want to tell the people, you know, because they know that the Nigerians are, you know, predominantly zombies. It's only the few wise ones among them. Of course, IPOB have done a great work in, you know, sensitizing them and, you know, baptizing away their foolishness. Now, a lot of them, they believe everything the Zoo government is going to say. So, but they know that if they rush into saying something against the xenophobia that is taking place that is going on in South Africa, they might likely get themselves into another type of trouble. And they know that IPOB is watching. So any mistake they make now, IPOB will use that again to fire them. So that is why they don't want.
Being very careful.
They are being very, very extra careful, because the mistake they made in joining trade leg to Buhari in Japan have not yet left them. A lot of people are beginning to. The trauma is still, but they are not recovered from that one, and you want to push them into xenophobia again. No, they say they don't want to. Instead, let them just play to the gallery.
So that it doesn't call it semovita.
Exactly. You saw the policemen killing a lot of Nigerians who tried to protest against the xenophobia in Lagos. That goes a long way to tell you that this government is an evil government, and they know what they are doing.
You see the South African police joining in
doing the killing and looting. That is to tell you that.
Then, because people want to protest, our own police decide to kill them. Most times you begin to ask yourself, what kind of a country is this?
This is not supposed to be a country.
What
I keep saying,
what kind of a jungle is this?
I mean, it is the worst jungle, because even if you go to the animal jungle, sometimes the lion, they don't always kill. They only feed once after 3. They only feed once every 3 days. That is how they feed, if there is enough food for them to eat. But they don't just kill anyhow, or they don't kill the meat they don't, desire to eat. Pathetic. You know, so, but here in the zoo called Nigeria, in fact, Nnamdi Kanu just baptized it by giving it that name, zoo. But I think it's what's more than a zoo, because if somebody can come all the way from Europe or America or wherever he or she is coming from, coming to River Niger to tell us that the river that our forefathers have been drinking, fishing from there and doing a lot of things, that he is the one that discovered the river that has been in existence for only God knows thousands of years that is existing. Our people are feeding, drinking from there. Tell you that Mongo Park discovered River Niger, and they discovered River Niger, the same River Niger, area Mongo Park. So that goes a long way, and Africans believe it. We are studying it in primary school. Who discovered River Niger? It is Mongo Park. We believe. Are we not foolish? So it's time for us to begin to disinfect our brain with all these things, all these garbages we are being fed with.
All right, thank you so much. Let's look at the next one here. Xenophobia attack. Don't retaliate. Leave it for government. Adeboye tells Nigerians, do not retaliate. Head of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pastor Enoch Adeboye, has pleaded with Nigerians not to attack South Africans and their businesses in response to the violence unleashed on Nigerian citizens and other African migrants in the former apartheid nation recently. Making the plea during his sermon at the September edition of the Holy Ghost service at the Redemption Camp along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway on Friday, the respected clergy said that not engaging in retaliatory attacks was in the interest of Nigerians still living in South Africa. He said, "I beg you in the name of God, don't retaliate against South Africa. Don't retaliate because of the Nigerians who are still in South Africa. Let us leave this job to the government. Let them solve this problem at the governmental level. Pray for them that God will give them the wisdom, the understanding, and the ability to do it." This is the same man we've been waiting to hear him speak about Fulani herdsmen, about Ruga.
Even those that kidnap his pastor. I thought he would have advised them to leave it for God. Maybe God will come and defend them over there. These are the kind of people, these are the problem we have.
But telling them to leave it to government is also is tantamount
okay,
to telling them to leave it
leaving it to government and God. They are still the same thing. As long as there is G at the beginning of it, that goes a long way to tell you that these are the people, these are the problem we have in Africa. If I talk now, they will say, Victor, you are talking again. But these are the evil people we are talking about, people that call themselves men of dogs and wickedness. Now they are killing people, you are not concerned. It's a leave it for government that doesn't even care for the people. He has a private jet, and private jet is bulletproof. For your information, every private jet you see is bulletproof. Bullet doesn't enter a private jet. Now people are collecting bullets in South Africa, and you tell them to leave it for God. Somebody that is about to lose his life in the next minute, instead of that person to defend, because the right for self-defense defense is universal. You defend yourself anywhere. That is your life is the ultimate right you have in everything. You have a right to protect your life at all costs. It doesn't matter who is going to die at the end of the day. If 100 people is coming to kill you, you have a right to defend yourself. If it means you are going to kill that 100 or 1 million people who are trying to kill you, you have that right. It is your right. Right for self-determination, right for self-defense. It is embedded in the law all over the world, even in the United Nations and everywhere. Now here is a man who called himself a man of God. That he said that I think he's shepherd and the people behave like sheep. Anything they tell them, they believe. The other one again called Kumi, his counterpart in crime, telling Nigerians to leave the Fulani herdsmen killing. I think in the hand of God or in the hand of government.
No, the God.
Okay, the other God and the government's God. Now, these are the kind of people. This is the reason why we have problems. This is the reason why Africa cannot be liberated, because these people, they keep on, playing to the gallery. You saw the evil that is going on. This man is
no attempt to even help those of
to help them. I think they have a lot of private jets.
Let's see how to bring them back, just like Air Peace have done.
Exactly. Air Peace now is an Igbo man that owns it, and they will say Igbo hate themselves and all of that. Now he volunteered all the money, the billions he could have raked in from that very opportunity. He surrendered it for him to be able to save a lot of people. Now these people, this is the time for them to, they say they are using the private jet that God gave them to go for God's work. This is the time to do God's work. This is the time to send humanitarian aid, because a lot of people have not eaten for days. Some people are still in hiding in South Africa, in the bush and in everywhere. This is the time for them to send humanitarian aid for them, to send that charity. All the billions they are keeping in bank, all the trillions. Do you know that all these churches, they have banks in their churches? Do you know that Dunamis in Abuja, like today is Sunday now, they have a bullion van they used to take out money there 3 times every day. Do you know how many billions they take from each Sunday service? This is the time for them to use that money to rescue life. People, a lot of life are in danger. You say leave it to the Nigerian government that is killing people here. How many people have fallen since they started this protest? Now a lot of people we are killed in Lagos just that day because they are protesting against their brothers, and we have other fools somewhere else saying that nobody was killed. The video are banned, everything is there. Lai Mohammed is telling them that nobody is killed and those things. So these are the kind of problem we have. That is why I keep pointing to the people, because every time people say, why is it that I always attack them? That I should only be attacking the former government.
Said so.
Okay.
Rena Omokri said so, talking about pastors, that the xenophobia, he's surprised that pastors have never come out to say anything about
my sister. It is very, very painful, and it is very, very, it is quite debilitating. It is a very horrible and shameful experience.
Okay, let me read that.
Okay.
So churches are silent while Nigerians have been killed. Rena Omokri. Rena Omokri has noted that President Muhammadu Buhari should not be the only one to be blamed for the xenophobic attacks. The lawyer stated that churches are also to blame, adding that they are not talking about it. Omokri said the churches would reply when you talk about tithes, but they would not talk about Nigerians being killed. Controversial Nigerian lawyer Rena Omokri has shared his thoughts on xenophobic attacks in South Africa. The 45-year-old man shared a series of tweets talking about how he feels about the continuous attacks on Nigerians in South Africa. Okay, so
my sister, it is
it's not just all about you.
Yeah, that goes a long way to say that maybe I'm in the spirit this morning because what I'm saying is actually the truth, because this very man now, he have gone far and wide, he have understood the deception in that thing they called religion. What they fight for is for their own personal pocket. This is the time we expect all these fairy pastors that prophesy and the dead will rise from the dead, for them to come out now and do that miracle, that signs and wonder. This is the time for them to do it, because we are in a dire strait. We are in a dire situation. A lot of people are in danger. You saw the video of that young man, the young man in dread, said that that he's proud, that he said that he's proud of to kill the black, and he's likely going to kill more. And he will kill more. That everybody, he gave all the people in South Africa 14 days to vacate anywhere you are in South Africa. It doesn't matter if you are in Johannesburg, Pretoria, and in Sabatown. It doesn't matter anywhere you are, that they are coming to kill you as long as you're a foreigner. They don't care whatever you are thinking about it. And here we have pastors celebrating, collecting about 6 offerings in a Sunday. None of them is coming out to condemn what is going or even helping, because they have those billions in their accounts. They have private jets. Onyedepo have more than 10 to 15 fleet of private jets. He could have easily sent it over there to evacuate people. A lot of lives are in danger. A lot of people are impending. They are waiting for their deaths now. And the only little thing they could do now is to, maybe if they still have the ample opportunity, is to fight back or to die while fighting. If they have the opportunity to leave now, you know. So a lot of things is going on. So these people, they are not helping the matter. No pastor is speaking. You know, when it is necessary, say leave it for government. Abi, leave it for government now that it has come to where you are supposed to play an active role as an ambassador of the society. So it goes a long way to tell you that all of these people, they work together. Both the government, both the pastors.
Talking about leave it for the government, he didn't even urge the government or call
to do something, or advise the government on what to do.
The silence of the president.
No. He doesn't care. He knows that the government will not say anything about it, because also Johnny Anyajido. So if Jubilee says something, he will be exposed. And it's not even the governors that will come and speak, because they themselves, they have their own. They are even far more worse than the devil himself. So, so you know, he said leave it for government, and he know that everything will die like that. Everybody that is going to die will just die and go to hell. They don't care whatever becomes of the life of that person. The only thing they will come out to shout, just like Reno Mokri clearly pointed out, is when you touch their offering, that place. And I keep saying it, that if you remove tithe and offering, if you remove paying of money in church, these people will never, I mean, their business will close completely forever.
All right, this moment we'll embark on a break, and when we return, the lines will be open for you to call in and make your contributions. The numbers to call, our WhatsApp number 0905 6608 583. Our WhatsApp number, once again, 0905 6608 583. Then our phone line 0702 03533706. Once again, 0702 03533706. That's our phone number. Call us. Let's hear from you. And of course, you make your contributions. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.